going to give you guys 12 common questions that the immigration asks you upon arrival to the port of your entry here in Canada. It's either in Toronto or in Vancouver, British Columbia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Buyucan, and if you are very new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And on today's video, I just want to share you information. What are the common questions? What are the common questions immigration officer can ask you upon arrival to the port of your entry? It's either you arrive in Toronto airport or you arrive in Vancouver airport, British Columbia, or anywhere around the world, because these common questions, guys, are just common questions immigration officer they always ask anywhere in the airport around the world. Okay, but I'm going to make you an example here in Vancouver, British Columbia airport. All depends on your own passport visa. Okay, because some people arrive here as a visitor visa, they arrive here as an international student, they arrive here as a permanent resident, or they arrive here because their wife or their husband sponsor them and they arrive here as a permanent resident. Or you come here as a worker visa or a super visa or a single visa or a parent's visa. Okay, so I'm going to share this for you guys, especially for those first-timer travelers who arrive here in Canada. Okay, this is what happened. After you get out from the airplane, there's always a directions, and there's always a lady or a gentleman standing up, and there's always a directions where you get in. Okay, or otherwise, if you don't know where, if you are not sure where to go, you have to ask questions. They always willing to help you. They always smile to you. They always say hi. They always say it's either they will say to you bonjour. Bonjour means I'm not sure if that's how I pronounce in French, but they will say bonjour and they smile to you. Bonjour means hello, or they will say in English hello. It's your first timer, you have to ask them. They always willing to ask us. My parents, they arrived from Philippines, they are visitor visa. English is less English. They will ask people and they are very helpful because according to my parents. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to use an example as a Vancouver, British Columbia, your port of entry here in Canada. Okay, so first thing you have to do is you have to go to the direction. Wherever you go, there's always a direction. It's either visitor visa or permanent resident or Canadian citizens. You have to stand up where the direction is. Okay, guys, number one they will ask you is give me your passport. So give me your passport. You have to make sure it's all in the envelope, all your documents. Okay, so when you give your passport to the immigration officer, they will look at you like that with your passport. You have to make it sure this is you, right? Sometimes they will ask your birthday. Make it sure you know your own birthday, right? Number two, common questions. If you're a visitor visa, let's say how long you stay here in Canada. They will ask you that, how long you stay here in Canada. So if it is in your visa, is 6 months, you have to make it sure you have to say 6 months. Whatever your approval, you have to say 6 months. If they give you a 6 months visa to stay here as a visitor visa, you have to say 6 months. Okay, you have to make it honest and straight forward. Number three questions. Do you have any plan to work here in Canada? And if you are a visitor visa, and this is very important, guys, because you're not allowed to work here in Canada as a visitor visa. Okay, it's against the law. But unless if you come to Canada as a visitor visa and you have the chance to find an employer who is willing to give you a work permit, then that's the chance for you. You apply, the employer has to apply a LAMIA first before they give you a work permit. And that's the possibility, okay? But anyway, of course, your number one reason to come here in Canada is a visitor for tourism. That's why they get you inside in Canada, and don't ever say you come to Canada to work. Okay, otherwise, if your answer is like not really sure, the officer will think and they will straight look at your face. If you are lying, they might open your luggage. If they see your credentials or application or whatever in your luggage, they will kick you right back in your own home country. So you have to be very careful about how you answer the officers, and you have to be very honest to your answer as well. Okay, number four question, they will ask you, how do you support yourself? Okay, if you're a visitor visa, how you support yourself? Of course, you have money, your own pocket money when you arrive here in Canada as a visitor visa, except those parents okay, because my parents have no, probably they only have like 50 Canadian dollar when they arrive in the airport. And of course they are parents, because in my letter of explanations, they come to Canada and I'm the one who responsible for them for everything, okay. So the immigration know about that. For the parents, it's okay because of course their children or relatives who sponsor them to come here and visit as to visitor here in Canada, of course they're the one who responsible to provide everything their needs. And I'm sure that's what they submitted to the immigration. That's why immigration approved them, right? So just in case, you still have to prove to them that you have your own money, or you can able to stay with your parents or relatives if you have any relatives or friends here. And of course you have to say you have this amount of money to support yourself for a certain month. Number 5 questions: what you do here in Canada. So the officers say what you do here in Canada. So if you're a visitor visa and if you are working visa, of course you have to say I'm working here, I have my work permit visa, and this is my employer, blah 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 blah, right? So if you're a visitor visa, you have to say I'm visiting my children, I'm visiting my grandchildren, I'm visiting my daughter and my son. Number 6 common questions: who you traveling with. So let's say you are traveling by yourself, you just say I'm by myself. So if you're traveling with your daughter or your son or your nephew or your niece, just say I'm traveling with my niece, and don't have to mention their names because you don't need to mention names, okay? Number 7 common questions: they will ask you, what is your address here in Canada? Making sure you prepare everything, the home address of your children or your husband or your wife here in Canada, or your friend address and their telephone numbers. It's just in case, okay? Let's say I'm staying with my family or my friends, or I'm renting a hotel, and if you have a children here, I'm going to stay with my children. Number 8 common questions: if you are an international student, the officer will ask you, where is the letter of your acceptance? Give it to them, they will review and we'll see all the information. Number 9 common question: if you are an international student, the officer will ask you, how do you pay your tuition fees? How do you manage to pay your living here in Canada? So of course you have to answer the officer, my parents will pay my tuition fees, my brother or my sister will help to pay my tuition fees. And how do you manage to survive in this country? They might ask you that, and you say like I can apply for a work permit while international student, so I can able to work 20 hours a week, and I can help to supply my needs here in Canada. At the same time, my parents give me allowance, or my brother or my sisters, okay? And they might ask your home address as well, so that's why be prepared and be ready, okay? They might ask your home address as well, your relatives home, or if you have a boarding house, okay? And always just relax, take it easy and smile, okay? Because the officer, like, they are very smart, they can just while they do the interview to you, they just look at your facial expression as well. If they see you are uncomfortable, they might think something, okay? So just take it easy and smile. You are in Canada, you are safe. Number 10, guys: if you are spousal sponsorship, mean to say you arrive in Canada because your husband or your wife sponsor you. Of course, you arrive in Canada as a permanent resident. So the officer will ask you who sponsor you. So you either say my husband or my wife, okay? And they will give you a form, like a temporary number, and this form you have to keep it yourself because that's your temporary permanent resident card here in Canada. And the most important is you have to give your right address, because they will send it to you, your permanent resident card, within 3 weeks or 1 month. You will receive your permanent resident card here in Canada, okay? That temporary card, they give it to you, you have to keep it yourself for at least 3 or 4 or 5 years while you are in Canada, because when you are applying for your Canadian citizenship in the future, they will ask you that form, the port of your entry form, when you arrive in Canada, and you have to attach that when you're applying for your Canadian citizenship, okay? Number 11 common questions: when you arrive here in Canada as a work permit visa, they will ask you what you are going to do here in Canada. So you have to tell them I'm a work visa, or I'm a caregiver, or I'm a nanny. And they will ask you what is your employer home address. So you have all the information for your employer and their contact number as well, just in case they will contact your employer. Just make it sure this person, you expect this person who arrived in Canada and work in your own company or work for you. So they have to make it sure, and they did that to me when I first arrived here in Canada. When I was a nanny, they call my employer, because when my employer picked me up in the airport, my employer told me immigration called me and they have to make it sure that we're going to pick you up in the airport. I said, oh my God, thank you, Lord. So that's what happened. So just in case, you have all the information about your employer contact number as well, and their home address, because they might call your boss. Okay, number 12, visitor visa again. Just in case, they will ask you, do you have any plan to extend your stay here in Canada? Of course, your answer is just say no, because otherwise it's further more explanation, right? So just say no. I'm going home before the expiration, or this is exactly the expiration, and I'm going home within 6 months visiting here in Canada. So it's more easier, right? So you don't have to make a lot of explanations. Okay guys, so because of this pandemic that is happening here around the world, you have to know the travel restrictions when you arrive here in Canada. Make sure you have your negative test result for your swab test. You have to prove to the immigration, and you have to know what is your plan, because they will ask you what is your plan for your 14 days quarantine here in Canada. You have to know, and you have to tell them where do you going to spend for your 14 days quarantine. Either you stay in the hotel, stay in your family, whose family is with you. And this is very, very important to follow. So these are the common questions, guys, especially if you arrive here in Canada. And just remember, take it easy and smile and relax and enjoy. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you for my next video, and God bless you, and bye bye.